So, Alpine fir. Um, yeah, I really love this trunk. I don't know totally why. This is just one that speaks to me. Some of them just seem to speak to me in a certain way. So what I'm thinking is, last year I sort of topped it. Put it in this container. It had it all last year to grow. It's shooting out lots of nice growth, but you can see it's all at the tips. And these back bud quite a bit. So I probably should have done this quite a bit earlier. You know, we're not really at the post-hardened flush prune situation. But what I want to do is stimulate some bud production in there. And I think this has got a lot on it. And I'm a little bit wary of taking it off in the heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of clean it up a bit. You can see I've kind of started to dig away here and found some nice Yamadori. So this moss was kind of all up in here. So, you know, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. Looks like there's a root back here. So I'm going to clean up this quite a bit. And then trim up some of these long ones. Maybe make some selections. You know, we have these swelling that's going to happen with 5 branches there. And I want to get light into these interior buds and be able to, you know, shoot buds, produce buds in all of these lower ones. So I need to kind of make some space for it, some sun, and we'll see. Give it an overall shape. And what I'm kind of thinking is, you know, I don't mind the angle, play with it a bit. You know, you have this relatively straight section in there. They're bowed a little bit. But I like seeing these little wiggles, and maybe, you know, it looks like I'm pretty good. I love seeing there's little wiggles in here. This is the front, and this is really inviting. I kind of seem to like those, but it does look thin here. There's not much. Oh, there's a little bit of a root back there. Yeah, so it almost has a reverse taper here. Maybe that's why I had the moss kind of coming up. It's thin. So yeah, this is probably the thickest. So if I can get this thicker here with his roots showing, and then maybe put some moss up on that side to kind of give it some weight, I can get rid of that a bit. And then, but yeah, I like there's little subtle movements. Kind of lose it from this angle, so I think I kind of got the angle I want. Actually, it looks pretty good, just dead on, so I hope we keep it. And then when I move up here, I see that this branch is so thick. It's got a lot of growth on it, but it's got to come off. That's maybe how I'm going to kind of decide some of these just way too structurally big. I have to be careful because I don't want to take all the growth off. You have to start picking sides. That's nice, boom, boom, boom. That's nice, boom, boom, boom. I could allow that to come off. Kind of empty space there. This could come on around. Such a thick branch. I'm gonna get rid of it. I just don't want, I want to be careful. I want to give it a little nub just so that it doesn't die back. So these trees coming along. You can see I've taken off quite a bit. Beautiful Yamadori. I can get a zoom in on that to see the nice root spread. You know, even an angle like this is really nice. Nothing on this side. Like one coming off the back here. You might not even. There, you can see it a little bit, but really it's empty there. You know, I think this was clean to a sort of a rock wall cleaning up, and then swooping down, right? And so What I also noticed is that where I have it just a teeny bit to this side, and I get this little wobble in the tree trunk there, and a little wobble up there. So maybe even like that. So where I have it there, this kind of straightens out, and this straightens out. It's still there, it's just not as accentuated, and so I sort of lose a teeny bit of the width of the base, and I get more movement. I think since I have a lot of roots here, I can sort of put moss up here or a little bit of a ledge or something to make it look like there's a fatter nabari there, and so it doesn't have as much reverse taper. I can take off that, it'll help too. The other thing is that the tree sort of, you know, goes to the right, comes to the left, and then kind of goes to the right, and the apex looks like it's kind of pointing to the right a little bit as it is. And as you can see, I've shortened this side, and so I kind of want to get the directionality this way. So I've got this long branch here, and it's my sort of character branch. Even though this one is lower off to the right here, it's I've shortened to put it in there, and I've tried to make this one bigger, and I will try to get this thicker. It's probably next to this back one that's hard to see, it's kind of covered up by all these branches. This is probably my thickest branch, and it'll probably get thicker. It has like almost the most amount of foliage on it. So that'll be probably my primary branch, and then I have this other bigger one that kind of comes out too. I kind of thought about moving this back in here, but this one is farther back than this tree is forward, and I kind of like to keep that that sort of feel to it. So yeah, so we'll see. Anyways, you can kind of see there's the nice line, but what I'm thinking is, you know, it kind of swoops this way, and then the primary branch, and then I need to move the apex. I need to move the apex over to the left. So that'll be my next effort, and I'll show you how it looks after. So I tried to get the apex going to the left, but just that little bit got to go on the left. So it needs to grow before I can really form that apex and turn it around and get it to go the direction I want. But it does have a little bit more of a feel to the left with the, you know, the branch going to the right and that swoop to the left. So that's what I was going for. You know, one thing with these subalpine firs is that their branches are super flexible. Like, you can just bend them as much as you want. I mean, it's you know, it's the snow load. They have to be able to survive that, right? And so the branches just bend right down and don't snap. But you know, for me to get these branches to stay, I mean, this wire is going to be on there for years to get it to stay, because it'll just pop back up, and that's, you know, it's that flexibility. Whereas like a larch, they'll just grow out and break off, and then back bud tons. And you know, I think also the back budding is a feature of these trees, because they're used to having branches just broken off from the wind, from the snow, and then more buds sort of forming. And that's sort of like, you know, often with these subalpine firs, you have that multi-apex, because the tops just get blown off and destroyed, or branches, so the new ones become their leader. It just has these strong features of the plant. So but yeah, overall really happy. Like I said, I think right here I get a little more wiggle. I've kind of blocked it off a bit with some of the branches. I mean, here's where you get you get to see kind of the whole trunk line. But I think actually the new front might be here. Yeah.